We have the reports of boards and committees, central management and intergovernmental committees. Commissioner Fink.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. While your agenda suggests that we would have one item today, we will have two items, the second of which we will need to suspend the rules, Mr. Chair. The first of those items is a settlement in the matter of Neil Anderson versus the county, along with several folks in the Sheriff's Department. You have all seen that board letter. It has been in front of us several times. It is, and I would move it, sir.
It has been moved and supported. Discussion. All in favor of said motion signify by the sign aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Mr. Chair, as a result of yesterday's meeting, we would need to suspend the rules in order to move forward with the next item, and I would move suspension.
It has been moved and supported. Discussion. All in favor of said motion signify by the sign aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. One nay on the suspension. Commissioner Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You have in front of you a single-page resolution which states, whereas the St. Louis County Board, where it is the intent of the St. Louis County Board to replace the county administrator, Dana Fry, who is leaving for his position on February 8th, 2008, with an interim appointment. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the County Board of Commissioners hereby approves entering into negotiations with Al Mitchell with the intent of completing a contract for services by which Mr. Mitchell would serve as the St. Louis County interim county administrator until a permanent county administrator can be selected. Please note that this particular resolution is to enter into the contract, that you will then, once the contract is approved, get the second shot to accept the contract and move forward. And I would move it, sir.
It has been moved. Is there support? It has been moved and supported. Discussion. Commissioner Sweeney.
Yes, I'd like to offer an amendment, and that amendment would be that, and it would come in after the words, serve as St. Louis County interim county administrator until July 31st, 2008, by which time a permanent county administrator shall be selected.
That amendment has been moved. Is there support for the amendment? The amendment has been supported for discussion. To the amendment. Commissioner Nelson, I see first. Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Forsman. Mr. Chair.
Usually you let the person who did it speak
Commissioner Nelson, Commissioner Sweeney is correct.
I'm sorry, I will yield to Commissioner Sweeney. I apologize.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sweeney.
Yes. I do not like the open-ended idea that perhaps we would never get a permanent county administrator selected, that this could go on indefinitely. The reason I say that is that we did have an interim that served for a year and a half. And I think that's way too long. I think that the process can be accomplished in 6 to 7 months. And I would like the fact that if there is an end to the contract, that if we do need 3 months more or 6 months more because we have not found the appropriate candidate, we could then extend that contract. But to leave it totally open-ended, this could go on until perhaps Mr. Mitchell no longer wanted to be the county administrator versus when are we going to start this process and when are we going to put an end to this process. And right now there isn't a start date. There isn't a plan for how we are going to replace this person. I guess we've sent it to civil service. We didn't give them a time to get something back to us by. We just sent it over there. So it seems very lax in the way we are looking at this. And as you know, I don't believe that this is a good solution for St. Louis County, and I said it yesterday. But in the very least, since there's certainly an overwhelming support on the board for doing this, I think that we should have an ending point for this contract. And if it needs to be renewed, you renew it, if he's willing to renew. But that's my reasoning for doing this. I think you need to have some pressure to actually get the permanent administrator in place. Thank you.
Commissioner Nelson?
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Forsman. I may be confused, Commissioner Forsman, or Mr. Chair, in the sense that I was under the impression that once this was completed, that you would look at appointing, perhaps that same subcommittee to do the negotiations with Attorney Mitchell, or I'm sorry, with Administrator Mitchell. I apologize for that error. Too many years of saying it.
He is an attorney.
He is an attorney as well, just like our previous administrator was an attorney, Attorney Twa. But the fact of the matter is that I don't have any heartburn really with setting a date here, but I know that in the past we necessarily have not done so. And one of the things that I truly want to discuss, we talk about change, and we talk about the changing environment that exists in government and in this world today. And one of the things that I think is that this board has an opportunity to discuss the administrative form of government and to look at, and I would only offer up that counties such as Ramsey, where our past administrator went, has a different administrative contract or an administrative form than we do. There are counties out there that have the managerial style of government. There are a bunch of other options for anyone who cares to go and take a look at what exists within 87 counties here in the state of Minnesota. And because of that, I truly believe that is going to take us at least a period of time to have that discussion. And I want to do that before we start to go out to look for someone as a permanent replacement. And this is our opportunity to go back and look at what has worked, what hasn't worked in this style of government over the many years. I have not had nearly the years of experience as a Commissioner Crone, Commissioner Rocker, in dealing with several administrators. I've only had the opportunity to work with two. But I certainly think, at least from my perspective, that we need to take a good long look at how we function, how we could perhaps better function under a little bit different contract or a little bit different style. And maybe when the day is done, maybe I will be convinced that decision that was made many, many, many years ago to have this administrative style will be the right one. But I certainly want to have the opportunity to look at that and see the other models that are available. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Nelson. Commissioner O'Neill.
Thank you, Chair Forsman. Well, I do support Commissioner Sweeney's amendment. I think it does make good sense to put an end, and as she has stated, we could always add another month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. I don't have any problem studying, other forms of government, but in the meantime, I think we want to get on with our business in an orderly and well-done fashion. I want to say, too, yesterday, for the public, it was probably confusing at best, in respect for people who put their names forward to be an interim administrator. We were respecting their privacy, so we had kind of a unique and, at best, confusing process where some people certainly knew who we were talking about and many people didn't. I'll just say simply that I supported our two internal candidates. I won't say who they are because who knows if they want it said. But I think they're both fine individuals who could have done a good job for us. But the majority of the board felt otherwise, and that's where we are today. I think that Commissioner Sweeney's amendment makes good sense to put some end date on that. I think we do want to be as kind of above board and transparent in this process. It is unique. I mean, we can say what we want, but Mr. Mitchell did work for the county for many years, and now he will be coming back. And, I think to many citizens, that does look a little odd. So I think whatever we can do to be completely above board and transparent on this makes good sense for all the citizens of St. Louis County. So I hope that we can support Commissioner Sweeney's amendment.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Neill. I